Are you over the age of 50 and looking for ways to improve your health? Well, in today's video, we will be discussing 6 foods that you should never eat if you want better health. These are foods that can cause inflammation, weight gain, and other health problems that can shorten your lifespan and reduce your quality of life. So make sure to watch this video till the end so that you don't miss out on any important information. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more helpful content. Let's get started. The first food you should avoid is sugar. Sugar is found in many processed foods, including soda, candy, and baked goods. It is also added to many sauces and gravies to enhance their flavor. When you consume sugar, your body converts it into glucose, which is used by your cells for energy. However, when you consume too much sugar, your body cannot store it all, so it will be stored as fat. This can lead to weight gain and obesity, which are risk factors for many chronic diseases, such as type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and certain types of cancer. But that's not all. Consuming too much sugar can also lead to inflammation in the body. Inflammation is a natural process that occurs when your body is trying to heal itself from an injury or infection. However, when inflammation becomes chronic, it can be harmful to your health. Chronic inflammation has been linked to a variety of health problems, including heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and arthritis. One way to reduce inflammation in your body is by consuming anti-inflammatory foods such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. On the other hand, consuming pro-inflammatory foods such as sugar-sweetened beverages, fried foods, and processed meats can contribute to chronic inflammation. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that consuming high amounts of added sugars can increase the levels of inflammatory markers in the body. Another study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that people who consumed more sugar-sweetened beverages had an increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. To reduce your sugar intake, start by cutting back on sugary drinks like soda and juice. Read food labels carefully to check the amount of added sugar in processed foods, and choose fresh fruits instead of sugary snacks. By following these tips, you can reduce your risk of developing chronic diseases and improve your overall health. The second food you should avoid is processed meats. Processed meats, such as deli meats, salami, and sausages, are high in sodium, unhealthy fats, and preservatives. Consuming these meats regularly can lead to high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. These meats are often high in saturated and trans fats, which can raise your cholesterol levels and increase your risk of developing heart disease. In addition, processed meats contain high levels of sodium, which can lead to water retention and increased blood pressure. A study published in the British Medical Journal found that consuming processed meat regularly is associated with an increased risk of developing cancer, particularly colorectal cancer. Another study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that consuming processed meat can lead to weight gain and obesity. This is because these meats are typically high in calories and low in nutrients, which can contribute to an overall imbalance in calorie intake and expenditure. To reduce your risk of developing chronic diseases, it is recommended to avoid processed meats and instead consume leaner sources of protein, such as chicken, fish, and beans. The third food you should avoid is fried foods. Fried foods are cooked in unhealthy fats or oils at high temperatures, which can lead to inflammation in the body. Consuming fried foods regularly can increase your risk of developing heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. Fried foods are often high in saturated and trans fats, which can raise your cholesterol levels and increase your risk of developing heart disease. In addition, fried foods tend to be high in calories, which can lead to weight gain and obesity. A study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that consuming fried foods regularly can lead to an increase in inflammatory markers in the body. Another study published in the International Journal of Obesity found that people who consumed more fried foods were more likely to be overweight or obese. To reduce your risk of developing chronic diseases, it is recommended to avoid fried foods and instead cook your meals using healthier cooking methods such as baking, grilling, or steaming. The fourth food you should avoid is refined carbohydrates. Refined carbohydrates include foods such as white rice, bread, and pasta that have been processed to remove the bran and endosperm, leaving only the starchy endosperm. These carbohydrates are quickly broken down into sugar in the body, leading to high blood sugar levels and insulin resistance. Over time, this can lead to type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. Refined carbohydrates are also low in fiber, vitamins, and minerals, which can lead to nutrient deficiencies and overall poor health. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that consuming high amounts of refined carbohydrates can lead to an increase in blood sugar and insulin levels. Another study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that people who consumed more refined carbohydrates had an increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. To reduce your risk of developing chronic diseases, it is recommended to avoid refined carbohydrates and instead consume complex carbohydrates such as whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. The fifth food you should avoid is dairy products. Dairy products are made from milk and include items such as butter, cheese, and yogurt. While dairy products can be a good source of calcium and vitamin D, they can also lead to inflammation in the body. The proteins and fats found in dairy products can trigger an immune response in some people, leading to inflammation. This inflammation can contribute to a variety of health problems, including arthritis, asthma, and bowel diseases. In addition, dairy products can be difficult to digest, which can lead to bloating, gas, and diarrhea. A study published in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition found that consuming dairy products can lead to an increase in inflammatory markers in the body. Another study published in the British Medical Journal found that people who consumed dairy products regularly had an increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes. If you are considering avoiding dairy products, there are a variety of plant-based alternatives available, such as almond milk, soy milk, and coconut yogurt. It's important to note that not everyone will have a reaction to dairy products, and some people may be able to consume them without any issues. However, if you do experience symptoms such as bloating, gas, or diarrhea after consuming dairy products, it may be best to avoid them. The sixth food you should avoid is alcohol. Alcohol is a psychoactive substance that is commonly consumed for its intoxicating effects. However, consuming alcohol in excess can lead to a number of health problems, including liver disease, pancreatitis, and certain types of cancer. Alcohol is metabolized in the body through a series of chemical reactions that can produce harmful byproducts. These byproducts can damage the liver cells, leading to inflammation and scarring, which can eventually result in liver failure. In addition, excessive alcohol consumption can lead to pancreatitis, a condition in which the pancreas becomes inflamed. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that people who consumed more than 2 alcoholic drinks per week had an increased risk of developing breast cancer. Another study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine found that consuming alcohol is associated with an increased risk of developing several other types of cancer, including colorectal, esophageal, and liver cancer. To reduce your risk of developing chronic diseases, it is recommended to avoid or limit your alcohol intake to recommended guidelines. In conclusion, making changes to your diet can have a significant impact on your overall health and well-being. Avoiding the 6 foods discussed in this video can help reduce your risk of developing chronic diseases and improve your quality of life. Remember to always consult with a healthcare professional before making any major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Thank you for watching today's video. We hope that you have learned something new and that you will be sure to implement these tips into your own diet. Please like and share this video with friends and family if you enjoyed it and found it helpful. We would love to hear from you in the comments below about what are some of the challenges you face when trying to eat healthy. Don't forget to subscribe for more health and wellness tips. Stay healthy and happy.